Good morning, my lovely YouTube audience. Hope you're well. Um, I've got a pretty sad story for you today. Really sad, actually. It's a tragedy. Shakespeare would have loved it. So I'm gonna take my time and tell it to you properly, okay? Because there's a couple of lessons in there if you guys are interested in farming at all. So we had actually fenced three sides of the land, three directions. So south, east, and north had been fenced off. The fencing was obviously done to keep animals out, right? So cows roaming around, etc., and other wild animals like nilgai and boars, etc. But we took the decision actually for the west boundary. We started the work, but we stopped it because it was actually adjoining a seasonal river. If you see behind me there, right there is the seasonal river. It doesn't look like much right now, okay? So we wanted to actually make the ground there where we're putting the poles pretty firm and reinforced, because we didn't want the rain, in case of heavy rains, which does happen, there's like flash flooding and stuff. So things get, literally they flow off with the water. Like last year was really bad. So we wanted to firm up the ground and then do it. And there were other complications as well, as usual when you're working in India and then in a village in India and then in a remote village in India. It's life is complicated if you want to get anything done. So we actually had this thorn fence, you see here. It's called a ward here. We had it all through. It was pretty simple. So we removed all the trees from there, all the invasive species trees, basically the Gandobauer, and it's thorny and stuff. So the machine itself made this fence for us. Okay. So we thought, I'm saying we, but this was my thought, that it'll hold the animals off, and if anything, there's always going to be people here watching over the site, so there won't be a problem. So I had to fire the couple that was staying here. That's another really random story. Like the reasoning and everything is just crazy, but that's for another day, possibly. So I actually moved to the farm after firing them, because obviously someone had to be here. There was a lot of material and stuff that could potentially be stolen. So I tried my best, and my best is pretty good. Usually, it's good enough at least. But I tried my best to keep them out, and it was just impossible, because the cow herds would actually cut open or pry open the thorns and just leave, and then their cattle and all will be roaming around the area. They'll find the path and they'll go inside. And then if they come inside, I don't really want to get into the conversations I've had with them. I've actually fought verbally with them and their say it and all this. And their talk is 10 on 10, Like they'll promise all kinds of things, like, oh, if anything happens, just call me 24/7. Like I'll help you out. Like, of course, no cattle should come into your land and eat your crops and all this, blah blah blah. But then, of course, when you call them, nothing happens. They play games with you, especially if you are from outside. You're not local. This is a villager mentality in most of India that I've experienced. It's absolutely nasty and horrible, okay? So beware, like, they will be very sweet and nice to your face, but they will stab you in the back. They will. It's just a question of time when, okay? They will stab you in the back. This has been my experience, at least. Maybe it's how I am. It's possible. Like, I've tried to analyze it and understand if I'm going wrong somewhere, etc. But I don't know, man. I've been nice to them, always kept my word, always been honest. I don't know. Like, always extended my hand, and I actually let them graze here when it wouldn't cause any difficulty or loss to the actual farm. I let them graze here, man. Anyway, so this was the background, okay? But the tragedy is this. Look behind me. So this was all the jowar and bajra and things that was growing beautifully, okay, in the dew. And It rained after that. So the Jowar and Bajra and stuff were like this level at least, okay? Like 5 feet, lush green, great leaves, looking beautiful, okay? So, despite my best efforts, okay, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, like, tried everything, tried catching them, tried everything, okay? Like running around with them with a lasso and etc. etc. But anyway, so they ate it all, dude. Like 6, 7 acres, all gone. So initially there was 1, 2 cows, then they called their friends or whatever, and then like these guys, the cow herds and stuff. Slowly, they kept on increasing their pressure on the fence on the boundary, and eventually there was 100 cows or something one morning. At that point, I just had to leave it. Like there was nothing I could do, so I just left it and was just watching them and being like, you know what, have it. I mean, it's not the cow's fault, obviously, right? So just have it, whatever. And just yesterday, we on priority finished the fencing on this side. So anyway, in terms of farming, okay, wait, let me just backtrack a bit. I just want to talk about my personal feelings about this. So yeah, absolutely devastating, absolutely, okay, because I was gonna get cows here myself, and this was my bank of feed for them. Now I have some feed, quite a lot actually, from the previous planting. Remember, like I planted the first half of the land previously, so that stuff is like semi dried out and we collected it and all. So I have some fodder, but the really good stuff which was growing here is all gone now. All is just wiped out. So yeah, I'm personally pretty devastated, but just sadhu baba things, like nothing really affects me. Like at the end of the day, I'm chilling. Like I've done what I can. Like what there's no point in me like sitting and crying, right? That's not gonna happen. So learn lessons and move on. So the lesson is, if you are starting a farming operation anywhere, I don't care where it is at this point, okay? Initially when I came here, I was like, what, cattle and this, that, we'll take care of it, it's okay, like thorn fencing and this, that. I was actually telling them why we need barbed wire and wire mesh and all this. I was wrong. You definitely need it on priority before doing anything, okay? Because it'll increase the security of the land exponentially, okay? Like all your building materials, whatever stuff is there on the farm will become that much safer, okay? Your crops, your seeds, whatever, you, if you're staying on the farm. So yeah, that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is, do not, this is gonna be my policy from here on. So I was actually no, I wouldn't say very good. Like from my side, the feelings were good, but obviously they are just traitorous bastards. So yeah, I was very friendly with them. Like the boys that would be herding the cows and all this, making them roam around and stuff. I was very friendly with them and had chai with them several times and spoke to them a lot. Anyway, the lesson is, these guys are nasty people, okay? Really, like, and they're not nasty to your face. I can respect that. If someone doesn't like me, if someone wants to mess with me and they mess with me to my face, I can respect that. That's fair enough. These guys will always, 10 out of 10 times, be very sweet to your face, give you all kinds of false assurances, say all kinds of things about your friendship, make plans for the future. We'll go here, we'll go there, blah blah. They'll stab you in the back. So do not entertain them at all from the beginning. Let it be known. And by the way, they are just like beggars and thieves, okay? All these guys who have cows and don't grow their own fodder and let them roam around all over the villages and jungles and this, that, they are beggars and thieves. Beggars because literally they go around looking for patches of food, and as soon as they see it, they like go for it, Literally like beggars, they roam around looking for food, okay? They steal water from the pipes that go through, connecting, like towns that don't have water to a bore of some town nearby that has water. They steal that water. They steal the land around where they've stolen the water to make a ward for the cows to drink water in. Here are these guys right now. Don't trust these guys. These guys are the worst. You're supposed to be my friend. These guys are the worst, actually. So where was I? Yeah, so they build these things, water container things out of cement for the cows, where they've made a hole in the pipe or whatever. And because it's cows, you can't say anything about it apparently, which is nonsense. If it comes to it, I am going to say things about it, of course. They use the cow things. They abuse it basically. Basically the Hindu or Indian sentiment about cows. You can't say anything, like even if they've stolen the water, it's okay because it's for cows. It's ridiculous. Okay, they are beggars and thieves and traitors. All right. Do not entertain them. Do not give them anything. Tell them to stay away. Tell them you don't like them. I mean, this is my own personal way of dealing with it from now, because I'm very direct. Like maybe you would deal with it differently, like to each his own. So anyway, this is the lesson. 2 things: fence up as quick as possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if they open the fences, like open the tars, this, that, and, do all kinds of... No, I would not be surprised at all. So yeah, I would even say that get a camera system installed as quick as possible. Even if initially it doesn't seem like there's going to be pressure from cattle and all this, it will happen eventually. And all it takes is... So there are some jungly, basically like male cattle who are abandoned. And these guys are professional thieves. They belong to no one. They roam around just thieving from everywhere. It's not their fault, okay? But this is what it is. So if one finds your land, and sees there's a lot of food there, slowly, and not even that slowly, like exponentially, like, so the next day there'll be 2, then there'll be 4, then there'll be 8, then there'll be 16, it's like that. So don't take it for granted. Just fence up quickly, get cameras in quickly, which we have to do now. And these cattle guys, they seem all cool and nice and all. My personal advice is keep them at arm's length. Do not give them anything. Do not take anything from them. Have no connection with them whatsoever. And if you want to be direct about telling them to just keep away, you don't like them, do that. That's what I'm going to do. Because they basically betrayed me, okay? That's a different story. They acted like friends and then basically destroyed my operation. Not destroyed, that's a very... harsh, but yeah, it really messed it up, okay? So anyway, sorry for the very long rant, but yeah, I mean, it's devastating, but I'm okay. We'll recover. Lesson learned. And yeah, hopefully this has been educational for anyone who wants to start something like this. Yeah, just get that protection in, okay? Peace.